to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Wincott, and today I'm going to review the latest blockbuster that came out, and that movie is Nope. This movie is the third film written, produced, and directed by the one and only Jordon Peele, who directed Get Out and Us. This movie stars Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, and Yeun. The residents of the Lonely Gulch in England, California, bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. And that is all I'm going to say about Nope, because obviously the trailers didn't reveal too much about this film, so this will be a non-spoiler review. If you have not seen Nope, you guys are safe with me. All I'm going to say is that I am a fan of Jordon Peele. Now, let's go back in time in 2017 when Get Out came out. I wasn't expecting that film to be good, because the guy from Key and Peele is directing a horror film. Man, that is different. But I was not interested in that film until I watched the film. That changed my perspective of Jordon Peele. I loved Jordon Peele's direction with that movie, and Get Out is absolutely one of my favorite horror films of the last decade. And I also loved Us. I know Us is very divisive. It is probably my least out of the three, but I would say Us is a very unique and directed horror film, and I think Jordon Peele directed that film fantastically. So, of course, now we got his third film coming out, and of course, I was anticipated after those two films. I think Jordon Peele is great at mastering originality with these films, so, of course, I'm excited to see what Nope does. Just from that first poster alone, I was excited to see what is going on in this film, and the trailers of the film kept my interest. So, of course, since this film is shot with IMAX cameras, I went to go see this movie in IMAX, and man, after I walked out of Nope, guys, seriously, Jordon Peele is probably now one of my favorite directors of the last decade and also this decade. I think Nope is another masterpiece by Jordon Peele. I love this film. Like, this film is almost as close as being as good as Get Out. I'm not even kidding. I loved Nope from start to finish. And I gotta say, out of all the three films that Jordon Peele has directed, I would say this is the best directed film that he has directed. Especially when it comes to the look of the movie and the cinematography alone. The cinematographer of this film did the Christopher Nolan films from Dunkirk and Tenet and Interstellar, and the film looks fantastic. The camera work in this film is masterful in this film. The shots of this film look inspiring for me. I love the look of this film. This film looks incredible, especially from the lighting of this film alone. This film has some of the best nighttime sequences that I've seen in the film. It looks fantastic and beautiful in this film. I love the look of the nighttime scenes of the film, but the cinematography also gives me so much tension in this film, and that's what Camerawork should be about. It's about building tension through films, and I think the cinematography for Nope is some of the best that I've seen all year. Of course, let's talk about the performances of this film. Kaluuya returning after Get Out, I loved him in this film, and it proves to us that in Judas and the Black Messiah, he won Best Supporting Actor, and he earns it, because throughout this film, he's still fantastic actor in this film. He plays such a great silent character in this film, which is very rare nowadays, making a silent character believable in the film. And I think Kaluuya does a great performance in this film, especially when it comes to his silent moments where he just emotes. You really feel for him in this film. But of course, Kaluuya is a great actor, and his performance in this film is fantastic. But of course, the person that completely stood out in this movie, of course everyone would agree, is Kiki Palmer in this film. She plays the complete opposite to Kaluuya's character. She is fun, energetic. She's definitely the comedic character in this film. She has heart in this film, and she emotes really well in the film, but she's a fun character in this film. And Kiki Palmer, of course, I loved her in this film, and I want to see her in more stuff, because man, her performance just gets better and better and better. Please, Hollywood, put Kiki Palmer in more stuff, because she is fantastic in this film. And another thing that stood out in this film is the chemistry between Kaluuya and Kiki Palmer in the film. This is actually a really good year for sibling chemistries in the film. Like, The Black Phone has a great sibling chemistry, so does Nope. I love the chemistry between Kaluuya and Kiki Palmer in this film. It is so realistic, it's so believable in this film, and you just like them two together, and you really root for them for discovering what that thing is in this film. Of course, we'll get back to that later. Let's talk about some of the other performances in the film. Yeun also does a really great job in this film. I would also say Brandon Perea does a great job in this film, playing this tech guy that follows Kaluuya and Kiki Palmer along. And also, Michael Wincott in this film does a great job in this film also. He wasn't in the film all that much, but his performance in this film was also really believable and fantastic in this film. But of course, let's try to keep this as non-spoilers as possible, but let's talk about that thing in the film, the threat that this film presented, what that thing is in the film. I just gotta say, the visual effects in this film looks fantastic, and the thing in this film is menacing, but also beautiful to watch in certain ways, because Jordon Peele does a great job of making this film not just a threatening horror film. He does a great job of bringing a sense of wonder to this film. Like, you can see that Jordon Peele took so much inspirations from Steven Spielberg's work, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws, even Signs as well. Like, it definitely took that inspiration, but he made it its own thing, and that's the important thing. If you want to take an inspiration from the film, don't copy exactly what the film does. Make it your own thing, and Jordon Peele shows a great example of that. I can see that he took so much inspiration for those films, and I thought this film completely works from those inspirations, and I think Jordon Peele does a great job of mastering suspense and mastering also a sense of wonder in this film. Yes, I would even say this is a different film comparing to all three Jordon Peele films. Like, Get Out and Us are complete horror films. This film has horror elements. There are some terrifying moments in this film, but most of this film is a sci-fi adventure film. And I think that's very different comparing to the two Jordon Peele movies he did. And it completely works. Like, he can take any genre, but make it original and different for other films. And I think Jordon Peele does a great job with that. And I would say, without spoiling it, this film goes into places where you do not expect. And I love that about this film. This film kind of gives me more questions that I want to be answered, but not in a way where I'm like, oh, The Rise of Skywalker, it didn't answer the questions. This is a good thing. I loved how original and different Nope presented. It presented us something different that we haven't seen before. It goes to places where you think is going to happen, but it happens in a different way. And I think Jordon Peele does a great job of mastering that. And I just love how original and different this movie is. It just made me feel like, yeah, original films are still around and they're not as relevant anymore. I just love that about Nope. From start to finish, this is a great film with great characters, great suspense, great adventure elements, great cinematography, and even the score of this film is fantastic as well in the film that keeps me on the edge of my seat. Like, this film is pretty intense at some elements, and there are a lot of scenes where it's basically quiet, and I just love that about this film. It just builds so much suspense in the film. Do I have some issues with the film? I have one nitpick. It's more of a nitpick than an issue. I would say there is a certain backstory of the film with one of the characters in this film where I'm not going to spoil, which is one of the scariest scenes of the film and is really well done. But I kind of don't understand why it's in the film though. I feel like there is a reasoning why it's behind the film, and probably some people say in the comments, oh, this happened because of that. But it's a scene that's really well done. It's not a bad scene. It's a very intense scene. It's actually one of the scariest scenes in the film. But there is no reason why that scene's in the film, or there might be a reason why that scene's in the film, but Jordon Peele kind of didn't explain it. He kind of brought it up and didn't bring it back again. Maybe that scene kind of symbolizes the film. Maybe if I see the film the second time, I will understand it a bit more. But for now, I feel like, okay, that's a little nitpick. That scene was very intense, very scary, but why is that in the film? But overall, guys, this is another great masterpiece from Jordon Peele. I loved Nope, guys. This is honestly one of my favorite films of the year so far. I love the look of this film. I love the intensity of this film. I love the sense of wonder from this film. The performances of the film is great from Dan Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, Stephen Yeun. Everyone does a great job in this film. The thing in the film is very threatening, but also beautiful to look at. And guys, go see this film in IMAX. I think this film looks fantastic in IMAX. It builds more of a sense of wonder and suspense. Guys, Nope is definitely one of the best films I've seen all year so far. I love this movie, and I am absolutely going to give Nope an A+. So guys, that is my opinion of Nope. I know this film is very divisive. Some people might hate me on this review. I just love this movie, guys. If you want to do something about it, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of Nope? Do you like this movie, hate this movie, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my review for Nope. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Facebook, Twitter, the link will be in the description below. Make sure you guys subscribe my channel notified for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and Have a nice day.